Came down here I think in 1998, so quite a few years back now. It was a free site back then. Used to have some of the oldies from the country towns come down. They used to set up here for the season. Remember one guy called Les, veteran. He used to come down and set up in a corner there, set up his hessian area. I would imagine Les is long gone by now. And let's think about the people who used to be here. Vera, who was rather interested in Les, but I don't think Les returned the interest. We met Neil and Joyce Powell. If you look up Powell orange, you'll find that it's a juicing orange, and it's something that they developed. They got royalties from it, and they were travelling Australia with all the lovely money that they were getting from the royalties. Really nice couple. Kept in touch with them for a while, but eventually lost contact after Neil got sick and went back over east. He did end up in Carnarvon for a while, bought one of the sites there at Quobba, and bought a house in town. Then unfortunately he got ill and went back east, where I am presuming he eventually passed away. Big John Davis in his Ford Trader. He was parked up here too. We used to go mulleting and prawning with him. And yes, you used to catch prawns here. Whether you still do, I don't know. The big alvey reel I've still got, John gave me. I've probably mentioned it before on some videos. Caught a lot of big fish on John's reel, and unfortunately I'm sure John is no longer with us either, as most of the people we met back then were already in their 60s and 70s. I mean, 24 years later now. Crabbing has sort of waxed and waned here over the years. When we first came down, you couldn't move for crabs. In fact, they were a nuisance when you were prawning at night. You'd get prawns in your net all right, but you'd also get crabs, which you were not allowed to take that way, and had to spend time getting the damn things out. And there used to be a big pile of them in there. What it's like today, I don't know. I haven't crabbed here for a long time. But this area in front of me here, just where you can see those patches of weed, you could one time walk out there and you'd get your limit in 20 minutes easily. All nice big sized crabs. And over the years, when we were coming down here, the crabs gradually disappeared. So whether they've come back or not, I can't tell you. We don't crab here. If we do crab, we go to a place further up the estuary than here, closer to the mouth. But a lot of memories this place has got for us. Brian, the old caretaker here, who he knew I wrote bush ballads, and he was always on me to write him a bit of a ballad about himself, which I eventually did. And I guess now the words of that ballad, and I'll put it down below if you want to have a read of it. The words of that ballad are ringing sadly true, because Brian is no longer with us. The little dog Kenny passed away a long time before he did, and yeah, the ghosts are still here somewhere, I think. We got to know Brian pretty well over the years. So a lot of memories here. We used to come down every opportunity we could get at one stage. And this is a known crossing point back in the old days before all the bridges were built. This was a fairly major place for people to get across the estuary, because there's a lot of little sand islands. You can see maybe, I'll film it in a minute. You can see out in front of me there, there's a couple of little islands with some vegetation on. There's also some low sand flats there, and you can quite happily walk across to the other side from here. There's usually only one deepish channel which comes up to about your shoulders, but other than that it's all pretty shallow stuff across there. And we used to go chasing crabs out that way too when they started to get scarce in close. Poor old boat ramp. We've put our boat down there a few times. It's looking a little bit wonky at the moment. Still usable, I guess.